This grid represents the convergence. The entire framework operates on the governing assumption that physical reality is a simulated prison, and the practitioner's ultimate goal is to ascend towards spiritual light. But the architecture fractures when tested. These are the four known institutional tracks of the convergence: PIMEP, LEVELS, the Snake River, and the Argentum Collegium. Every data stream and curriculum in this network is mathematically oriented to point strictly upward. Yet the system's own records contain a structural paradox. Deep inside the innermost vault of the Convergence's sealed archive sits a single, highly restricted document that is completely uncatalogued. This text serves as the charter for an institution that officially does not exist, the Knot Institute. The system's supreme governing body, the Invisible College, maintains a permanent, unrecorded, sealed seat, occupied by an advanced master of this shadow academy. The Knot Institute operates outside the Convergence's primary directive. Instead of attempting to escape the simulation, Knot practitioners seek mastery over it by exploring the unpermitted territories that the mainstream tracks forbid. This is the left-hand current, a rigorous, opposing technical framework built entirely around the mechanics of descent. To implement this framework, the shadow system utilizes a 5-level curriculum engineered to systematically dismantle the upward-facing magical structures installed by the public institutions. To understand the true architecture of this esoteric operating system, we must map the cosmological inversion practiced by the Knot Institute. An architecture that ignores its own shadow operates blindly. The convergence system relies on the Knot Institute to chart the territories it cannot publicly acknowledge. Conventional esoteric ascent uses the Kabbalistic tree of life. The practitioner begins in physical reality, tracing a path upward toward divine unity. The Knot Institute mirrors the map downward, generating 11 inverted, darker nodes, the Qliphothic tree of death. Conventional practitioners treat these downward nodes, the Qliphoth, as parasitic obstacles to be purified or banished to maintain the integrity of the ascent. In the Knot Institute, the Qliphoth represent the interior face of the map, the side that looks away from the light. Navigating it is a technical requirement. This navigation is guided by the Mark Doctrine, the foundational ethos of the Institute derived from the biblical Mark of Cain. The doctrine operates across 3 dimensions: separation from conventional ethics, protection earned through exposure to extreme forces, and a destiny to build without divine permission. Level 1 of the curriculum is called the Builder, corresponding to the first downward shell, Lilith. At this stage, practitioners engage directly with the shadow of physical matter. They work with the material world as it is, rather than trying to transcend it. Progress is tracked in a descent record. This is a technical log that documents internal transformation and the specific psychological cost of the work. The Institute uses this record to filter out those seeking simple transgression. The curriculum focuses on the excavation of raw, unorganized creative force. Only practitioners who successfully metabolize this raw material without breaking are permitted to proceed deeper into the countertree. Level 1 identifies the physical world as an inexhaustible source of raw material for those willing to operate outside the safety of the garden. Practitioners who master the foundation enter Level 2, the craftsman, and move into the middle depths of the countertree. The focus shifts to the shell of the Girion. This is the disputing force, which rejects the conventional magical goal of solar harmony. Instead of seeking resolution, Level 2 teaches the practitioner to generate synthesis through sustained, productive conflict. This conflict enables the use of the Enochian outer face. This diagram shows the 4 Enochian watchtower tablets folding into a closed structure. Convergence tracks use these tablets as inward-facing APIs to navigate the generative layers inside the simulated environment. The Knot Institute treats the watchtower tablets as perimeter boundary walls, defining the edge of the simulated universe. By directing the Enochian calls outward, practitioners contact forces that predate the simulation's current configuration. These pre-simulation forces are identified as the Watchers, or the Grigori, entities who willingly descended to transmit forbidden architectural knowledge. This outward-facing protocol remains secret because it undermines the established cosmology of divine permission. A practitioner who internalizes both the inward and outward-facing protocols gains a structural understanding of reality that neither system can produce alone. The Enochian outer face identifies the simulation as a constructed boundary. Technical mastery requires communicating with what lies outside the firewall. Level 3 is the Watcher. This stage engages the upper depths of the counter tree, where the curriculum introduces the most destabilizing shells. The shell of Samael is the primary territory here. Engaging it violently dissolves the practitioner's established magical identity. Navigating these layers is impossible if the practitioner clings to the ego and the credentials they built in the conventional system. This dissolution leads to the threshold of the counter abyss. In conventional tracks, an upward abyss crossing requires shedding the personal self to achieve selfless transcendence. The nod constitutes downward abyss is a different movement. The downward crossing is a plunge into a core selfhood, stripped of all social formatting and cultural conditioning. Those who survive enter Level 4, the Nephilim, an unstructured research track for post-human development. Levels 3 and 4 dismantle the practitioner as a product of society, rebuilding them as an architectural force capable of altering reality. At the bottom apex of the Nod Institute's topology lies Level 5, Thaumiel, the Twin Contenders. Arriving at Thaumiel means entering a specific environmental state. The operational reality of Thaumiel is the capacity to hold two irreconcilable cosmic positions at the same time, without synthesizing or resolving them. This capacity enables the mystery introduced earlier, the Invisible College's unrecorded, sealed seat. The occupant of that seat is always a Level V practitioner, one who has mastered both the upward trajectory of the light and the downward trajectory of the shadow. The outwardly benevolent convergent system requires this presence in its highest governing body for structural integrity. An esoteric operating system relying exclusively on light and ascent is structurally unstable. It remains blind to half of reality's architecture. A sealed covenant ensures ongoing cross-pollination, quietly funneling advanced practitioners toward the Nod Institute when their traditional development reaches its limit. The systemic mechanism is clear. Any tradition that ignores the shadow is merely serving an administrative purpose. Every light casts a shadow. The highest achievement of esoteric design is choosing to map that shadow consciously, rather than allowing it to operate you in ignorance.